Welcome back! Thus far we've done melodies on strings 1 and 2, strings 3 and 4, and in this video we're going to start with a melody on strings 5 and 6. Really quickly, let's just review where all of those notes that we're seeing on the music on the screen now live on the guitar. So first, let's review with our highest note and work lower. So our highest note is going to be on that first ledger line below the staff, and that's going to be this C right here, 3rd fret, 5th string. Moving alphabetically downward, right below that first ledger line is going to be this B. And then on the second ledger line down, we're going to have this A. Below the second ledger line, we're going to have, very alphabetically, you guessed it, G on the 3rd fret of the 6th string. And then on the 3rd ledger line down, we're going to have this F, 1st string of the 6th, or 1st fret of the 6th string, my bad. And then right below that 3rd ledger line, we're going to have our open E. So again, like I've suggested before, it's really good to get familiar with where our open strings are and use those as points of reference for all of those notes in between and exactly where they live. If you kind of forget though, remember that you have access to this and you can kind of look back and remember exactly which notes are which. So now moving on to our melody using strings 6 and 5. Like we normally do, let's just go through left hand alone and right hand alone. Just going to go through this in time and say these note names out loud and move my fingers to where those notes are going to be played. E, E, F, F, G, G, A, B, C, A, B, C, B, A, B, G, A, B, C, 2, 3, 4. So the one spot that might get really a little bit more tricky than we're used to for you is measure 5, going from that B to the G and then back up to the A. Just some things to keep in mind is you can play that B with your 2nd finger and that G with your 3rd finger. And I recommend just kind of leaving both of those down. So from the B to the G, sort of leaving those down and then just lifting your finger, your 2nd finger that was playing that B, up just a little bit. And then you can lift your 3rd finger just a little bit when you go back to play that A. So for the right hand in this example, there are some instances of doubling where we have 2 I's in a row, and that's just because whenever we have these sort of phrase breaks where we have half notes, I just like to restart with our more dominant finger so it feels like we're starting the phrase again. So let's do right hand alone. Just gonna talk through what's happening with the right hand. I am, 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 I, 2, 3, 4. In that same spot that we talked about, measure 5, you're going to have this instance where I is going to play string 5 and M is going to play string 6. In previous examples, we've tried to avoid this sort of thing, but the simple fact of the matter is that eventually we're unable to avoid these sort of things, and so we want to start getting comfortable with them. So the best thing that you're going to need to do here is not to contort your hand necessarily, but just sort of get comfortable with your index finger sort of resting out in front of your middle finger. It looks a little more like this, sort of the index finger extended a little further, and maybe my middle finger just slightly shortened, and one of these knuckles up here, maybe in the 2nd knuckle, so that it rests comfortably. Just get familiar with that, and spend a little time going 5 and 6 back and forth to maybe get really comfortable there. So the other thing that I want to talk about right hand wise is because we're on these low strings, oftentimes you'll see people on these low strings use their thumb for a lot of these notes or even most of these notes. I myself might play this with exclusively my thumb because the thumb is a little bit more versatile than our other fingers in our right hand. It's very idiomatic in the classical style that we would be doing that, And so you might want to experiment with that a little bit. And as I put the left and right hands together, I'm actually going to play with my thumb just to show you what that would look like. So here we go, left and right hand together. 1, 2, ready, go. So hopefully you've got plenty of time to experiment with using I and N and using your thumb on this. And that's only going to enhance your ability to play any musical passage that you might find yourself wanting to play on the guitar. Have fun and happy practicing.